Okay, PPP products, the personal protection. Do they require you to buy them from a certain provider?
They don't require me to buy them from a certain, but they have to be certain. They have to be up to certain standards. You can buy them from different people. You shop around like everything else.
Yeah.
But every meal costs you a meal kit,
Yep.
20 cents, and then a plastic cup, and an extra napkins, and I have to bring in sanitizer and sanitize every table between that, and I give out masks if people. I have to have people sign in. I have to go clean the bathroom 2 or 3 times.
Do you still have to have people sign in?
Oh yeah. Well, it's optional.
I see there's a clipboard over there.
Yeah,
with
it's
names on it.
optional now that the everybody's gotten shots and everything. It's been a lot. They don't sign as much, but when they first opened up, everybody signed in. They couldn't get in.
So you can do your contact tracing?
Yeah, I do my contact tracing. We didn't have anybody, thank God. I lucked out. But we did have the guy come in, and what they do is they spray the whole place, and it lasts for like 4 months.
Right.
You have them come in again every 4 months.
Right.
And kills everything for 4 months.
Right.
And that costs you, $400 or $500 every time they come in. So everything is just.
No, I'm sorry, I missed that. Was that to have somebody come in and clean?
They spray they bomb the place
Right.
they bomb it they come in at night. They
Yep.
bomb it after
Yep.
you close, and it kills everything.
Yep.
Even stuff that has nothing to do with the virus.
Right.
It just kills everything, and it lasts for 4 or 5 months, and then they come back in again. So they've
Right.
been in like 2 or 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean it's a big deal, and everybody's got to wear a mask, and it's like I got to police everybody. And it's just everybody has to eat too. That's the other thing. They have to eat something, and they can only stay 90 minutes. So it's.
They're only allowed to stay here for 90 minutes?
You're only seat for 90 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, that's the law.
Have you had anybody? I didn't know that. Was that a new law?
No, that's been the law.
That's always been the law.
Yeah.
And have you had anybody give you a hard time because you've asked them to leave?
Oh, sure. Yeah,
Do they?
Sure. They just get down. One of their friends will come in and sit down with them, and they've been here for.
So that starts the clock again?
Yeah, they want to start the clock again. I say, hey, So anyway, it's more of policing. It's a lot of policing, and it's a lot of extra costs for help. It's a lot of extra aggravation.
Right.
But we got through it, and this year, when the weather is beautiful, it's been great. So I can't complain. The outside is helping again.
Right.
Really great. And I'm putting, as soon as they let me, I'm going to bring a guy back in so he can play the guitar. And I can't even have anybody sing until May 10th. So
They can't sing?
No.
They can play the guitar, but they can't sing?
They can play the guitar, they can play music, but they can't sing.
Really? So you can have people in here sitting down, eating a hot dog or a hamburger or some fried clams without a mask, because it's kind of tough pushing a clam through the mask. And the person can be playing a guitar, but they cannot sing.
And they have to have a mask.
They have to have a mask.
Yeah.
Even though somebody's 6 feet away chewing clams with no mask.
Yeah, I'm not the one that makes the rules.
Right.
Yeah, believe me. Yeah.
It makes you think that the people that are making the rules have no idea what the results of their...
Well, people that are making the rules work for the government. They don't work in the real world. The real world is the restaurant world.
Right.
The restaurant world, construction world.
Right. Non-governmental.
Yeah. Whereas you just whatever you have to do, you do.
Right.
And you have to make it has to make sense, or you're losing money.
Right.
I don't have an outside source of income that's just going to refund me every time I make a mistake or do something stupid.
So you can't make if you make mistakes,
I
they have to be
for them.
and they have to be small ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you been treated differently than the larger restaurants? You all working from the same rule book?
I can honestly say that as far as the COVID is concerned, I've been treated the same. But as far as everything else, like for instance, East Bay has 300 seats or whatever it has. I have to go by the same standards that they do for 300 seats. In other words, I have to get my fire leaders inspected, and fire alarms, all the stuff. I have to have maps on the wall. Even though you can see all the exits, I still have to have maps on the wall. I mean, it's just crazy. I have to pay.
Oh, an exit map.
Yeah, I have to pay from years ago there was people don't know this. There was a tax because milk wasn't homogenized or pasteurized or something like that, and so they taxed you on that, and they came in and checked it. Well, we still pay that tax. 1930, they started homogenizing and pasteurizing milk, and we still pay a tax.
A milk tax?
A milk tax.
Well, you know they're never going to give the money back.
Oh, they never. But I mean, it's not even. Anyway, by the time you get all your licenses,
right,
and it's like, well, I have a whole board over there of licenses that I have to, and everything. You know, it's now it's anti-choking, and last year was allergies. You know, you have to. It isn't, and then the state, if any ever work for you, every week I get unemployment. So if somebody worked for me and they quit or whatever and they go on unemployment, I got to fill out a paper every week
for them,
for guys that never worked for me 5 years ago. That I don't even. They might have worked here one day.
Really?
And that's coming out of my unemployment insurance. In other words, my insurance goes up because they worked here one day and I took 1 day of taxes out of them. It's nuts. It cost me and my accountant thousands of dollars a year just to follow that. So anyway, so the same thing would happen to a big place like East Bay, who has a whole department for that. My department is Rick. Yeah, me.
Right.
So, yeah, everybody thinks it's you're down here you're taking $1 and
it's easy.
It's easy. You buy a drink for $1 and you put that buck in your pocket. If you put a dime of that in your pocket, you're doing good. Most restaurants work on between 5 and 7%. If they're successful,
really,
9 out of 10 of them go out of business within 5 years.
Wow.
So that's the story.
Okay. Now I remember a couple of years ago, they had the Viking longboat that was docked right behind us. I think it was making a tour of the East Coast.
Yeah, it was good from Iceland. Yeah, it was an exact replica of what the Vikings did.
It was a beautiful boat. Yeah. It was a beautiful boat, and it brought a lot of people down here. Hopefully there'll be bring a lot of people down here. And they also had the
one from Blue Blinds. They had a sailboat down here this winter. They had
from the bakery.
That was pretty good. And they had another one. They had the other one from the Mass Maritime that was down. They have boats here all the time, but they don't stay for more than a day or two. You know, whereas the 2020 4th anniversary, there was boats in and out all the time, and it was the Constitution was coming down here. So
no, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was too. Yeah, everything was coming down. Yeah,
they were going to bring the Constitution.
They were going to bring the Constitution down. For the boat parade.
40 miles.
For the boat parade.
Really?
Yeah, just for the parade. It wasn't going to sit here.
They were going to probably dock it overnight and then bring it back the next day? Well, that's an all-day trip for that thing.
Yeah, that's right here. Yeah. So, it was a big event.
Really?
On the Farms list, which is the same travel list where the whole world goes that has money, actually, it was number 7. And so we're competing with people like the Olympics.
Right.
The Sundance
Music
Festival, all the big events in the world, like in Amsterdam they had the what do you call it, the Oktoberfest. I mean, it was a big deal.
Right.
And it's gone. But that's how big everything was. It was like there was so many events here. There was pages of books and people that wanted to get involved. They had stuff going at the plantation.
Right. Right.
And a plantation is unbelievable. It's like going back to the 16th century. They talk like that. The place looks like that. It's awesome.
The members,
they're in character.
They stay in character.
Yeah.
And I know that when I go there, sometimes I talk like I expect them to answer me in modern day English, and it doesn't work that way.
Oh, and they're fun. They're great.
Yeah, they know how to do it.
And they have the Native Indians there, and they have their own little plantation with tents, teepees, I guess, and they burn out canoes and
that's fascinating.
they cook venison that they've killed, and I mean, because it's kind of right there in the woods, and you get to walk through and get to see them back in the 1600s. So, yeah, there's a lot going on in Plymouth. We have 365 different lakes and ponds, one for every day of the week in Plymouth. We have the biggest forest in the state,
Yep.
which you can go riding in, and you can go camping in. There's a lot of lakes in there. It's
Right. It's a lot to do.
Yeah, we have a ton of ocean front. So beaches, it's a secret. It's been a secret. Now it's been opened up.
Well, the idea is to publicize and get more business down here. Are you able to collaborate with other types of businesses to do joint marketing of joint?
Well, the chamber does that. I myself, I have so much to do right now, just running the restaurant, that I don't have the time. But I do have a Facebook page, and I do have entertainment. I used to have comedy in here every Sunday night.
I have experienced your comedy.
Yeah. Well, not my comedy. We had some real comedians in there, but we had a guy, Pete Costello, and he brought comedians in from all of Boston. They came in and they did their act for free because they were his friend, and he went and did there. We also had Christine Hurley, who was 5 years ago was rated the #1 woman comedian in the country, and she was coming down every week doing 5 minutes because she was one of Pete's friends, and she lives
in town somewhere.
Yeah.
No, she actually came in here?
She did shows all the time, every other week.
I don't know how I missed that.
Yeah, she was great. Yeah, and she's filled up, events like the Boston Garden with a couple of the comedians. Yeah, so I mean, when it was going, it was going. All that's gone now because you can't have any entertainment. So, I'll have a guy come in and play the guitar or something, but that's not the event that I'd be like.
Right.
But it gets there, and the food's good. The food, and I'm reasonable. I'm probably the most reasonable guy in town as far as drinks and food. I'm real blue collar. There's nothing la-di-da about it. As you can see, I don't dress la-di-da.
Right. You dress for work.
I'm working. Yeah.
You're working.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna
cut and gonna see the place.
Thanks for taking a few minutes and talk to me about your business and what your expectations are going forward. And how about if we take a little tour of the business?
That'd be great, Jim. Thanks.
Okay, let's get to walking.
All right.
I think it went well. I think that went well.
Huh?
I think that went well.
I don't know if it went good as last.